Call the meeting to order and ask Councilman Barton to lead us in the pledge of allegiance.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Clerk, call the roll.
Councilman Poole?
Here.
Councilman Cotton?
Here.
Councilman Littles?
Here.
Councilman Watson?
Here.
Councilman Barton?
Here.
Mayor Lovelace?
Here.
Quorum is present.
Approval of the minutes is presented by the clerk.
We offer a motion that we approve the minutes with the necessary corrections.
Second.
I have a motion by Councilman Watson, seconded by Councilman Barton. Any discussion? Councilman Poole?
Yes.
Councilman Cotton?
Yeah.
Councilman Littles?
Yes.
Councilman Watson?
Yes.
Councilman Barton?
Yes.
Motion passes. Minutes are approved.
And I want to welcome our visitors today. I appreciate everybody coming and showing an interest in our city. Any approval of the agenda?
Are there any additions or deletions to the agenda? All in favor of the agenda as presented, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, nay. Ayes have it. Agenda is approved as presented.
And we're going to have a public hearing. I call to order. And I've asked a representative of Benchmark Securities to present this.
My name is Alston Gray. I'm an attorney in Birmingham. I'm the bond counsel working with the city and Benchmark Securities. Walter Lewis is the representative of Benchmark. He was unable to be here this afternoon. He has a conflict and had to be in another part of the state. But I have worked with the city's attorney, the city clerk, and Benchmark in connection with your proposed warrant issue to refinance a part of your existing debt and also to finance improvements, extensions and improvements to the sewer system.
Can I interrupt you just a minute?
Yes, sir.
Can we turn the volume up?
I'm sorry. Maybe it's just me not being close enough. I'm sorry. Okay, is that better?
I think we need to turn it
No,
just a
it's
little
not.
bit. Thank you. Sorry, go ahead.
The improvements that would be financed would be extensions of your sewer system, replacement of your main gas line connecting to the Gulf South transmission line, and various improvements, part of which would be in connection with the so-called A-Trip program that the state has put out, where they do matching funds for certain kinds of roads, and then additionally for certain paving in the city. So those would be, if I have it recall correctly, would be the improvements that would be financed out of this warrant issue. There would be a split series. Series A would be, both would be general obligations of the city. Series A would be approximately $10 million for the primary improvements, and that would be secured in addition to the general obligation of the city with revenues from your sewer system. The million or so dollars for improvements to your gas system would be also secured with revenues from your gas system. And so it's kind of a double barrel pledge, both of your general obligation and those two sources of revenues to give you better credit in the marketplace. The bonds have been through the rating process, the warrants I should say, and the city has a rating of A, stable outlook is the designation, from Standard & Poor's, and that was given about a week ago. As you may know, the bond market has been in turmoil for a week or so since Chairman Bernanke indicated that he may be ending a program that's been in effect for a couple of years now, what he calls quantitative easing, where the Treasury Department is buying billions of dollars worth of bonds every month, and essentially lowering interest rates. That was inevitably going to come to a close, but the effect on this issue and a number of issues is in the last week, since Chairman Bernanke has indicated that he may end that program sooner rather than later, is that interest rates have risen. And a number of bond issues that were going into the market have sort of been put on the shelf, at least temporarily, maybe days, could be weeks. When I spoke with Walter Lewis earlier today, he said that he did not want to go into the market today as he had planned, and he was going to just, his traders with his investment banking firm would just wait a day or so and see where the market was going. And so what this transaction would involve is the city approving it, giving the mayor the discretion to sign a warrant purchase agreement when, in the mayor's discretion, it meets the criteria that the city wishes to, that are in the best interest of the city. But it would allow you to go ahead and approve the issue in principle and then authorize the mayor to sign the ordinance, or to sign the warrant purchase agreement and bind the city when rates are in your favor. And you would not really expect your underwriter to bring you a transaction to approve until those rates are in your favor. So it could be a few days. The bond market has been a little iffy for all of last week and now starting this week. So, but the basic transaction would be the same. Refund your 2004 warrants, 2005 warrants, and do the new improvements that I just mentioned.
Could it be as late as next week?
Could be, John. It just, this market has, I know that a number of issues have been, that were going into the market last week and this week have just sort of been held back. The enterprise was supposed to price some bonds that I'm working on over there today, and I got word this morning that they were just going to hold off from going into the market. So it is a bond market situation where they're just going to, people are kind of holding back. They don't want to go, nobody wants to sell into a rising interest rate market, so they'll let it settle down. Could be a day or so, it could be several weeks, you just don't know, but and it's always going to have to be brought to you on a basis where it's advantageous for the city to do so, and where the mayor, in his exercise of his discretion, can sign the warrant purchase agreement. But in terms of the public hearing aspect of this, because a number of these uses of the proceeds are for essentially economic development, improvement for the city, they are eligible for special treatment under the Alabama Constitution under Section 94.01, where they don't really count against your regular debt limit. And that is the reason for the public hearing, is that by having the public hearing and having it authorized under Section 94 of the Constitution, it saves your part of your constitutional debt limit. So it's an advantageous arrangement for the city. Smaller cities don't have quite the debt limit that the larger ones do, so this is helpful to the city. I'll be happy to try to answer any questions.
Any questions from the council?
Have we already given you permission to sign the warrant when it's ready? Have we done it already?
We have to do on that, John.
Well, we thought there would be an ordinance written, but it's not written yet. But once he publishes the document, yeah, you should give him authorization to go ahead and execute the documents.
Right, what I'm saying is, if I understand what the gentleman just said, the rate can go back in our favor tomorrow.
Could be as soon as tomorrow,
Right.
could be next week.
I understand what you're saying. I'd rather be ready for it in case it does happen.
Yes, sir. Counselor, it is the approval that you would give as written in the ordinance, what I call a parameters resolution. What it says is if interest rates are not higher than a certain amount, and the maturities are, and the size of the issue is within what's specified, the maximum, and the underwriting discount is not greater than that was in that resolution, then the mayor, in his discretion, has the power to go ahead and sign that warrant purchase agreement when it's advantageous for you. So it gives, so it does, you're correct, it does
No,
give
I'm
you.
saying is, we're not gonna meet again in 2 weeks.
No, sir. This
And
gives.
if the rate changes
Give them
tomorrow,
the,
and we talking
ability
about,
to sign
Senator Bernanke's talking,
they
if we might get
publish.
a window tomorrow, and a week from now, it might be worse than what it was tomorrow.
Could be.
That's what I'm getting at,
Yes,
where you are on this.
Right. We can do that with a motion?
Well, I mean, we don't
Well,
have ordinance.
is the ability for him to sign in that ordinance, which is not written yet, though?
Yeah, no, sir, it's in there. It's in section 32 of the ordinance. It says if rates are not, as offered by your underwriter, when they go into the market, are not greater than 6%, if the principal amount is not greater than, and I don't remember the exact amount, 10 million and 1 million for Series A and Series B.
But without that document, should we go ahead and have a motion to go ahead and let the mayor execute at that time?
Yes, sir, and it would be, again, in his discretion, only after it's brought to you, and he has the authority within those limits. If it were an 8% bond, he'd have to come back to the council.
Okay.
But if it's within those limits, and the mayor looks at it and says, okay, this is what we were expecting, and this is advantageous, he can go ahead and sign the warrant purchase agreement at that point. So it's just to give you the flexibility in this kind of moving bond market.
Because Walter still will be talking with the mayor anyway, right?
Yes, sir.
Walter will be talking with the mayor when they get to that point where he says it's a good
Yeah,
time
what
to
we're
move
doing
on it,
is
right?
giving him
Yes.
the go-ahead to go ahead and.
So can I,
Yeah,
At
just
that
trying to make sure we
say,
do it
is this
right.
good enough? Yeah. But they'll still have to vote on the
oh, we
ordinance.
did it already.
To see Joanne seen the number of
We
emails.
don't even have that document.
Do we have the ordinance in hand?
Yeah, John, I had emailed you that. I've got about 6 or 8 copies.
Yeah.
I
I
don't
thought
have,
we put it on the last time we approved everything.
He's got it.
It's okay.
Ah, okay.
To the council members.
yeah, sure.
But you want action on this ordinance today, right?
Yes, sir. Well, it gives you puts you in the situation you want to be in, which is that if you needed to get into the bond market, you've already got, the mayor has the authority to bind you.
I think the question, you want action on this ordinance
Yes.
today.
Yes.
You have
Okay,
to
so
have
the
it
ordinance
in
then.
law.
For the mayor.
Otherwise, you have to come back to the council.
In 2 weeks.
You got a copy, please, Council?
Right, you're right. This is the ordinance that approves it, everything. What he amended from what you have not seen is as he spoke to you, that in order to meet the market demands, you put a cap over which the mayor cannot go on an interest rate. But it gives him the flexibility that if the timing is right, then he can go price these and get into the market.
We're going to call this ordinance number 13-0624-1.
Give me the numbers again.
John.
13-0624-1. So what we'd like first is a motion to introduce.
Offer motion to introduce order number 13-0624-1.
Second.
Have a motion by Councilman Watson, seconded by Councilman Barton. Any discussion? Councilman Poole?
Yes.
Councilman Cotton?
Yeah.
Councilman Littles?
Yes.
Councilman Watson?
Yes.
Councilman Barton?
Yes.
Okay, you now have the option of immediate consideration.
Offer motion for immediate consideration of ordinance number 13-0624-1.
Second.
Have a motion by Councilman Watson, seconded by Councilman Barton. Any discussion? Councilman Poole?
Yes.
Councilman Cotton?
Yeah.
Councilman Littles? Councilman Watson?
Yes.
Councilman Barton?
Yes.
Mayor Lovelace?
Yeah.
Okay, it's unanimous. Now you can act on the ordinance approval.
Mayor, offer motion for approval of motion, resolution number 13 dash,
Ordinance.
ordinance, thank you, 13-0624-1.
Second.
I have a motion by Councilman Watson, seconded by Councilman Barton to approve. Any discussion?
What was the maximum interest rate? I saw that in y'all's
Actually,
email.
8%.
It was 6, which is way above what,
What now?
that's way above what would be
I
expected.
know, what was the number?
It was 6%.
6%?
Yes, sir. It's in, all of that is written in section 32 of your, of what you
I
have.
understand, I just wanted to make sure.
Yeah, thank you. Okay, any final comments? And at this point, with this motion on the table, I'd go ahead and end the public hearing since there's been no comment.
Any comments from the floor? Now, we'll end that part of the.
Okay, we have a motion to approve. Any further discussion? Councilman Poole?
Yes.
Councilman Cotton?
Yes.
Councilman Littles?
Yes.
Councilman Watson?
Yes.
Councilman Barton?
Yes.
Motion passes and ordinance as it stands now is approved for action based on your parameters there.
Yes, sir.
Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Under old business, calling Councilman Cotton to make a recommendation on the board's vacancy.
All right,
Yeah,
well,
you gotta come.
go ahead, Joe.
Okay. Mayor, we talk about Mr. Woods, Alabama Power by continuing serving City Wood, so I make a motion, put in form of a motion to appoint Larry Wood back to the Brewton Development Authority.
I second.
I have a motion by Councilman Watson, seconded by Councilman Cotton. Any discussion? Councilman Poole?
Yes.
Councilman Cotton?
Yes.
Councilman Littles?
Yes.
Councilman Watson?
Yes.
Councilman Barton?
Yes.
Motion passes and Larry Woods is reappointed.
The next one is about the unlawful sales ordinance, which has to do with the sale of automobiles. I will say that I have received 2 comments from the public, both of them concerning if somebody on a private basis wanted to sell a vehicle and they were in a neighborhood that didn't have much traffic in their neighborhood, that this ordinance would cause them problems. And selling their vehicle, and in the past, they've been allowed to use property elsewhere to sell a vehicle, but I only received 2 comments. I am letting y'all know that.
I make a motion for the unlawful sale ordinance number 13-0610.
Second.
I have a motion by Councilman Cotton, seconded by Councilman Watson. Any discussion? Councilman Poole?
Yes.
Councilman Cotton?
Yes.
Councilman Littles?
Yes.
Councilman Watson?
Yes.
Councilman Barton?
Yes.
Motion passes. Ordinance will be published.
And we have under new business and ordinance, renaming of Burnt Corn Creek Park.
Need a mo,
Okay, we need a motion to introduce, and for the sake of surprise, as the ordinance states, we're presenting it now.
I offer motion introduction of ordinance number 13-0624.
second.
I have a motion by Councilman Watson, seconded by Councilman Cotton. Any discussion? Councilman Poole?
Yes.
Councilman Cotton?
Yes.
Councilman Littles?
Yes.
Councilman Watson?
Yes.
Councilman Barton?
Yes.
Ordinance is introduced. You now have the option of immediate consideration.
I make a motion that we have immediate consideration of ordinance number 13-0610.
2-4, sir.
Second.
624, yes.
Have a motion by Councilman Littles, seconded by Councilman Barton. Any discussion? Councilman Poole?
Yes.
Councilman Cotton?
Yes.
Councilman Littles?
Yes.
Councilman Watson?
Yes.
Councilman Barton?
Yes.
Mayor Lovelace?
Yes.
It is unanimous. Now you have the option of approving.
I make a motion to approve 13-0624.
Second.
I have a motion by Councilman Barton, seconded by Councilman Watson. Any discussion? Councilman Poole?
Yes.
Councilman Cotton?
Yes.
Councilman Littles?
Yes.
Councilman Watson?
Yes.
Councilman Barton?
Yes.
Motion passes and park is renamed.
And we have a presentation by Connie Baggett on Corn Creek.
Good evening, gentlemen. I'm here today to talk to you a little bit about outdoor recreation in Alabama. We have a $10 billion industry in Alabama right now that people spend on outdoor recreation. $7.5 billion in annual sales, $494 million in annual sales tax revenue as a result of that in the state, $2 billion in wages and annual salaries, and 86,000 workers in our state that currently work in outdoor recreation. Now, Brewton is on the cusp of being able to get its slice of that billion-dollar pie, and we have some wonderful plans for park development here in our city, and one key part of that will be played, I'm quite certain, by the gentleman you see here, Mr. James Chris Fields and Mr. Jim Kennedy. We will be consulting with them over the next few weeks over how to best develop our park for kayak and tubing and equestrian trails that will also be part of their plan. What I need today is if you would entertain a motion to call for a public hearing. We will be leasing, hopefully, the abandoned Shell station that has really been an eyesore that had been slated for demolition at one time, I believe, but now we found a wonderful use for it that could be used on a small business incubator basis for this young fledgling business that can come to our town that can make a huge difference for us in economic development. We will be holding, hopefully with your permission, a public hearing 7 days from the earliest publication of that hearing, and the earliest opportunity would be on July 2nd, but you have a council meeting on the 8th, which might make the most ideal time to do that if we could approve it at that time. So now, if you will, if you have any questions, we'd be glad to answer those as well. All right, if not,
So we need a motion for a public hearing?
I make a motion for a public hearing.
Second.
Have a motion by Councilman Cotton, seconded by Councilman Watson. Any discussion?
I just wanted, did she set a date for the public hearing?
It'll be
Next
Monday, July 8th, 4:30 in this chamber. Next council meeting, essentially.
If I may, just so it'll get in the minutes, this is kind of like it is the exact constitutional provision that Mr. Ray just talked about. It allows the city to negotiate leases after a public hearing under the Constitution if it has a tangible impact on economic development, and during the negotiations, in the event that it is the monetary consideration is nominal as in rent, that it allows you to do that. But I think we're going to get some very strong tangible and intangible economic benefits, plus the purpose of getting maintenance of the park area, security at the park area, and activity down at what is now known as Jennings Park. And but this will allow the public to have a voice in it if they should deem fit to do so. So that is the reason that we're having the public hearing on this. Okay.
Further discussion? Councilman Poole?
Yes.
Councilman Cotton?
Yes.
Councilman Littles?
Yes.
Councilman Watson?
Yes.
Councilman Barton?
Yes.
We'll publish it, come see you.
thank you. Thank you.
The next item is another request for public hearing. This is for a lounge retail liquor license. Trade name for the place is called The Groove, and it's going to go into where the one-time Bank Shot Sports Bar and Grill was, at 1023 Douglas Avenue, across the street from us here. ABC application implies that they've pre-approved it, and there's nothing in these men's background that would require any denial of this application. So, not that we're picking on him, but alcohol public hearings need a 15-day publication. So I'm requesting a public hearing be held for this on Monday, July 22nd, 4:30 in this chamber for this alcohol license.
We need a motion for that.
Please.
I make a motion for hearing on the on 22nd.
Second.
I have a motion by Councilman Cotton, seconded by Councilman Barton. Any discussion? Councilman Poole?
Yes.
Councilman Cotton?
Yeah.
Councilman Littles?
Yes.
Councilman Watson?
Yes.
Councilman Barton?
Yes.
Public hearing will be held July 22nd. Thank you.
John, do we have any miscellaneous business?
I do not have any at this time.
Motion we adjourn.
Sure.
All right, now you open it. Out of order or not? Motion adjourned.
But she just we're adjourned, but she's just
Yes,
making an
I
announcement.
just want to make just a very quick announcement. Auburn University has a broadband internet training, and we are hosting them on Wednesday, the 26th. We invite all of the city and county people to come out. It's the basis of a grant that they have been writing, and it is to provide information on e-learning, e-community, e-government. And I've spoken with Mr. Barr and asked if they would come and talk about the Brewton app as well. So it's just, we just want to make sure, I've got a few flyers if anyone is interested, but it is 9:30 to 11 on Wednesday morning, the 26th. Just wanted to make sure everybody knows.
Appreciate it.